Hi there! Today I'm making these little acorns, and this is part of my mission to find budget-friendly things to make. And for this, all you're going to need is just a little bit of yarn. I'm using a light brown and a dark brown, and these just happen to be the same colors that I used when I made these guys, my little hanging succulent plant. And all you need is your hook. I'm using a size G or a 4.0, yarn needle and scissors. Tweezers are helpful but not mandatory, and then a little bit of stuffing. If you don't have this kind of stuffing, you can use yarn scraps or even maybe tear up a couple cotton balls. You really don't need very much for the stuffing, so let's get started. We're going to start with the bottom of the acorn or the nut, and we're just going to do 5 single crochet in a ring. And when you do those, do them somewhat loosely. Try not to get them too tight. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pull that tight. And then in our first single stitch over here, we're going to do 2 single crochets in that same stitch. So there's 1, and there's 2. And the next one we'll just do 1. Then we're going to do 2 in the next. One in the next. And I'll put the stitches on the screen that I'm doing. And we're just going to continue around. We're going to increase as we go a little bit. So on the next one, we're going to do an increase. So 2 stitches in the same one. And then in the next 2 stitches, we're just going to do 1 stitch, 1 single crochet. There's 1 in that one, and 1 in that one. We're going to do that again. So in the next stitch over, we're going to do 2 single crochet. And in the next 2, we'll just do 1. There's 1 in that one, 1 in that one. We're going to do that one more time. So we're going to do an increase. 2 in that one. 1 in the next one, 1 in the next one. Then we're going to do another increase. So we'll do 2 in the same one. Now here we're going to do a single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So 1 in that one, 1 in the second one, 1 in the third one. We're going to do that again 2 more times. So we'll do our increase and then do 1, 1, and 1 3 times. And then we need to do that one more time. So we need to do our increase and then 1 in each of the next ones, next 3. All right, and now in theory we have 13 stitches. I'm going to stop real quick and count them. So we're not counting that. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and this one is 13. Now we're just going to do single crochets with no increase around a few more times until we have 7 about 7 rows. So we're just single crocheting all around until we have 7 rows. So we'll start with that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we need a couple more rounds. Just need a few more over on this side. And this is how I tell. I just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then over here, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you just have to just want it close. And then we're just gonna cut our yarn. Take a yarn needle. I'm gonna go over, not this one, but this one, right here. Put it right through there. And then where our yarn is coming out right here, we're just going to go back down through that one and that one. And we've just created a little stitch there, and it helps to double check that you still have 13 stitches. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn that little guy inside out, run this right down through some stitches, bring it out down here. And since this was a magic ring, you just want to make sure that that was nice and tight. And then you can tie this off, so all of that's not going anywhere. Stuff that in there. We'll give it a little stretch. It helps to stretch it out now because you won't have a chance to do it later. And then maybe add a little stuffing now. You can do it now, or you can just wait till later. I like to get started on it. Next, we're going to take our darker brown, and I'm going to make the stem first. He's going to be separate. So we're just going to chain. So we just need our slip knot. And again, I'm just going to do that loosely. We're going to chain 5. And in the second chain from the hook, I'm going to do a half double crochet. So I'm just going to wrap my yarn around a hook, put it in the second chain from the hook, pull it through, and then I've got 3 loops on my hook. I'm just going to pull it through all 3. And then I'm just going to slip stitch the last 3 chains there. So I'm going to do a pull it through. So we're just doing a slip stitch. Grab the yarn, pull it through. Go into the next chain, grab the yarn, pull it through. And then to finish it off, just do a little chain. And you just want your little ends long enough to get your yarn needle on them and when you sew it into the top here. So I'm going to set that to the side. All right, for our cap, we're going to actually do half double crochets in a ring. So do our ring and then do chain 2. That's 1, 2, and then we're going to do 13 half double crochets in the ring. So I start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When I got about 6 of them, I tighten my ring up a little bit so I can hold on to this instead. There's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, there's 12, and 13. Now we'll just tighten up our ring. We're going to find our first stitch. And do a slip stitch. And then a chain 1. And then I'm going to turn the cap wrong side up. So this is how we were working. I'm going to turn it. And then we're going to start working right here in each stitch. We're going to attach it to this guy as we go. So I'm going to start with a half double crochet in the first stitch. So you just yarn over. You're going to go down through the stitch. Pick this guy up. And we're just going to work in the, what would be the back loops, the outside loops there of this outside. So we are doing a half double crochet. So you just pull it up. And you've got 3 on your hook, like so. And just pull it through. Now in the next stitch, we're going to do 2 half double crochets. So I'm just going to kind of hang on to that way. Wrap it around, go through the next stitch, and grab the outside loop of the next stitch on the nut. Pull it up through. We got 3 on there. And we want to do 1 more in that same stitch. So wrap it around, go back down through. And then in the next one, we're just going to do 1 half double crochet. Go into the next stitch. The next one, we're going to do 2. So go on into the next stitch. There's 1. And there's 2. We're just going to work our way around that way. We're doing 1 half double crochet. And then 2 in the same stitch. There's 1, and there's 2. Now we're going to do 1 in the next one, and 2 in the next. There's 1. And there's 2. Now if this is too much going on, you can actually make the cap without attaching it to the nut and then sew it on after the fact, but I like to attach it now, and then I don't have to try to find this where the stitches go, because when I tried to sew it together, it wasn't looking very good at all. So it was kind of looking like this, so I didn't like the way that looked. I wasn't getting all the stitches. I wasn't getting the result that I wanted. By taking the time to do it this way, look how neat that is. It's just really well attached. So but it is kind of busy. There's a lot going on there. So, and once you get most of the way around, about 2/3 or 3/4 of the way around, we're going to stuff it the rest of the way. So I've got one here, 2 in the next. And it makes it even more complicated when you're working with the dark colored yarn, so maybe try it with a light colored yarn at first. So I'm going to stop here because I need a little bit more stuffing. Now we're just going to finish the round. So we did 2 and then we did 1. Now we're doing 2. There's 1, 2. We'll do 1 in this one. This is our last one. We got a little gap here, so we're just going to find our first stitch in that little chain there, like so. Let's go through the front and back loop, do a little slip stitch to join it, and a chain 1. And then for the next round, we're just going to do a single crochet around the edge here. So we should have about 19 stitches. Once you get all the way around, you just grab your first stitch over there and do a little slip stitch. And then we're going to leave a tail to get this out. It helps, I think, to see. It's 10 to 12 inches long. And now we're going to take this, our yarn needle, we're going to go backwards. So instead of going this way, we're going to go around this way. And I'm just going to go into the bottom loop along the edge, all the way around. There's 19 stitches, so we'll do it 19 times. We're back to the beginning, and so then we can just, this is where the magic happens. You can just take and pull it, and as you're pulling it, it's pulling tight all the way around. You just play with it a little bit. Voila! So there it is. You see it's not, it's attached like that. So ta-da! And then we're just gonna take this tail, run it up here, and tie it to this. When you tie this knot, don't pull too tight because you don't want to lose any funky little dents in your cap. The first one do loose, the second one you can do a little tighter. Now we're just going to put that through. Put it in the center. Here's what I'm going to do. I want to use this for stuffing instead of throwing it away, because that's how I am. This is where I use my tweezers. Just kind of ball it up. And then we take the stem. That's not a bug, that's part of the yarn. And we're just going to go right into the center and out the other side. And you had two tails coming off the stem. And so with the other tail, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to go the opposite direction. So here we went that way. So here I'm going to go this way. I'm going to start in the center and go out. And I'm going to do one more little thing for definition and pull those kind of tight. I'm going to go right through the center of the stem like that. It just keeps that stem in the middle. So we just go and then you can give it a little tug. Just run it through if you don't want to stuff it in. Run it out the other side. Give it a snip. Stuff it back in. Voila, there it is. And that is the little acorn. I would love it if you'd let me know in the comments what you plan to do with your little acorns. And that's it for now. So I'll see you on the next video.